In this video, we're going to bring in our DEM file into Civil 3D and bring it in as a surface and create a surface that we can utilize for our HECRES geometry or anything else. And we're going to use the same converted DEM that we converted in the previous step in QGIS. So it will be in units of feet. So the first thing we need to do is to set basically the background here to the coordinate system that the DEM will be brought in. So over here in the tool space, we'll click on the settings tab, come over to here to the drawing name, which we don't have a name yet, it's not saved, but right click and click edit drawing settings. So here we can set our coordinate system, and we want to do a drop down and set essentially the datum we're using, or at least the bounds for what we want. And so we're wanting to use Oklahoma State Plain, the North Zone, and the NAT 83 datum. So we come in and we want a USA Oklahoma, so this essentially says that it will be an Oklahoma State Plain projection. And here it gives us options for available coordinate systems. So click on that, and we come and find NAT 83 in Oklahoma State Plain. We want the North Zone, but we want it to be in US feet, not meters. So we click that, and then we click Apply, and then hit OK. And one thing to note, and if this worked right, you'll see this new tab pop up called geolocation. We won't worry about that for now, but just know that once you set a coordinate system, that tab should be available now. So let's come back to the prospector tab, and over here on the left there's a surfaces icon, and we want to create a surface, but for later purposes, there's a reason we do it a certain way. So we right click on here, and there's three main options. We want to create a just generic surface, create a surface from a DEM, which we do have, and create a surface from a 10, which we don't have. We actually want to just create a generic surface for now, and I'll explain why here in a minute. We actually want the surface that we create to be a 10 surface, so a triangulated irregular network surface. And here it's just the layer that it will drop it into. So we're going to name this just DEM, and I personally like to set the contours to be 1 in 5 feet, just to be able to see a little bit more detail. And so we'll click OK. Notice in this we still haven't selected our actual DEM file. All that we did was essentially create a shell object which we can define. But again, it will be a 10 surface. So expand this drop down menu on the surfaces, and then here we have our newly created surface here, the DEM. We'll drop that down and drop down the definition box. So there's multiple ways to define a surface. We can use contours, we can use DEM files, different drawing objects, point files, etc. So again, we have a DEM file, so that's what we'll use. So right click there and hit add. So now we can search and find our actual DEM file. Click there, and I have mine saved on the desktop here. And again, we created this DEM feet object through QGIS, converting this in our CS2 meter that we downloaded from the OK Maps website, which again was in meters. So we want the one in feet, and again it's a GeoTIFF file. So open. So it pops up here, and you can see it actually shows some of the output from that. Okay. Click OK. So it'll take just a minute to It's loading. Alright. Looks like it actually worked pretty quickly this time. So again, nothing shows up. One big reason for that is when you open AutoCAD, just base AutoCAD, you see down here this XY coordinate system, and so it thinks kind of in a 2D world of XY. But essentially this point right here is considered 0, 0 in the XY direction. So even though you're on a set coordinate system, it still thinks your drawing is essentially relative to 0, 0. Well, most state plane or NAD83 projections are very large, and you think how many feet within a zone, there's tens of thousands, so we're way off the map as far as where it's zoomed into. So what we need to do is basically find our file. So we right click over here on our DEM object, and then just go down to zoom to, and then there it is. Okay, so this green box is essentially the boundary of this file. And one thing you'll note that we did say we wanted 1 and 5 foot contours, but these don't seem very specific to that. The general setting in AutoCAD is actually to not pull it all up at once, but once you start zooming in, you can actually see them pop up. And here you see our creek channel, and you can kind of see the roadway here. So now we have a surface. But again, this is a 10 surface that we created using a DEM. And that will be important once we add our surface for our topo and try to combine them together, because you can only combine surfaces that are of the same type. So because our surface from a topo will be created from contours and not a DEM, it will be of a 10 surface as well. So we need both to be 10 surfaces to be able to combine them. Okay, so that's it for bringing in our DEM and creating a surface using that.